Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. As promised, I have for you guys today my Hachette Heroes collection. I very quickly bumped and beefed this collection up a crazy degree. I feel like I've definitely just spent the last few months catching up on about 5 years of Hachette Heroes colour by number. These are all coloriage mysteries, which is the mystery pages, so that you don't quite know what you're going to get from the page itself. They are a colour by number with a colour palette. Like I said, I have 22 books to get through here, so I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to show you the backs of these books so you can see what you're getting. I know people really do either love or hate to see the back, so if it's not something you want to see, this is not the video for you. I'm going to show you what you're going to get, and I will show you the pictures I've done in mine. And also at the end of the video today, I'm going to share with you the colour palettes I've created. I do have quite a few people they're asking to see these, so I will hold these up so that you can pause and play your camera, so that if you do want to have some colour palette references for all the pages I've done since I started doing that, you will have that to hand. So let's get this started. I am starting, I've gone by author, so I have separated mine out by author, because what I have realised sitting and looking at this collection is I definitely have preferreds, and now I know that those are the authors that I will be illustrators that I will be keeping an eye out for. And I have found my absolute favourite overall to be Jeremy Marius. Everybody's opinion is going to be different, so I'm going to show you his books first. We're starting with, these aren't in order of anything, they're in order of the pile I took them off my shelf because they were heavy. I have the Villains book. I'm trying to see, maybe I might be able to tell you when these were done. So I think this is quite difficult because I'm assuming that means that it was done in 2022, but I'm not really sure. So I've done these two pages and absolutely love these. I would definitely call this more of an intermediate to difficult. I find the newer books are all a little bit more difficult than the olders. Spoilers incoming. I am going to show you the pages that you're going to get with this one. I really like to do mine now with the alcohol, take that back, I'm lying, acrylic ink markers. I'm going to leave those there for you guys to have a little cheeky look. You can see just how detailed some of these are. And the Languor gel pens, like these are detailed. These are not a beginner book at all. And I just use a high-tech ink pen for my black lines. I do enjoy my black lines, I must be honest. It will say the movies that these are from, but of course if your version is in French like mine, they will be in French. Love this. Zootopia, isn't it? That one I do know. Some I know, some I don't. I'm a little bit out of date with my Disney, I think. And you've definitely got a mixture of everything. And you do have the more simpler pages, although even then that's quite a colour palette, to like the more detail all the way up to like this kind of crazy amount of detail. But yeah, you can see these are going to be pretty intense. There's no double pages in this one. These are all single pages with some very fun villains to be found. These are some of the newer ones. So they do have the colour tracker pages on the inside there. From there I have princesses. Yep, Disney princesses. I've done in this one, I believe, just this one so far. And again, spoilers, we have for princesses. So you can see I got it pretty close. It is nice that you can check to see how well you did or didn't do. Can be a little bit tricky matching them up to the squares sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. This has got some really fun bright pages to it. Plenty of Snow White, some Pocahontas, got a bit of Milan, nice to see. Obviously the Little Mermaid and Aladdin, that is Tangled. Some Aurora there. Do have the Princess and the Frog showing up. I can never remember her name. Is it Tila? I'm not sure. Get my cartoons mixed up. You've got a Brave there. Definitely can't remember her name. Love this. They have managed to keep them varied, considering that essentially they're all just portraits. This is a very interesting page here. Love this. Again, this is one of the newer ones with the tracker. That is Princesses. I do also have Ice Age. I do believe this one didn't do as well, but I absolutely love this one. I've done a one page in here. I've done this guy, oh, and one creepy eye. I've done this guy, and this was very fun to do. This was a lot of white coverage. I know in some of the books, some of the illustrators have stopped marking in on the white now, so it makes life a little bit easier. I guess why they used to hide it, because it was a part of the picture and it's part of the mystery, but it's a job and a half to make this white. But really enjoyed that. Love how he came out. I really enjoy all these pages, to be honest. I don't think I've had one yet where I think, ugh, hate doing that. These are all, of course, very bright. And a lot of the lines in this aren't black lines, they're actually coloured. But they do seem to still have edging. They just tend to be like a dark brown or blue. Love this one. Love this one. You do have the double page spreads in here again. I would definitely say the Princesses one is an intermediate to difficult, and I would definitely put this one in the difficult category, mixed with the double pages and, you know, just the level of detail. Also adding on the fact that there's not a lot of black lines that can sometimes actually make these pages a bit simpler, but I do like the detailed pages. I like the challenge. I do find it quite fun. I mean, they're going to come out absolutely fantastic, this water detail. These are just fabulous. He's definitely my favourite illustrator so far. I've missed a page, hang on. These are just really fun pages. A little bit of Christmas in the back. I'm pretty sure that is a Jeremy Mariez. Yes, it is. That is Ice Age. We've a fair few to go, guys. I'm sorry about this. I do also have, I'm going to do it like this, the Disney Mickey, Donald and Co, which is the original, and then the Mickey and Friends, which is a newer version. In, you know, they're a bit of a series. This is an older one. I would definitely put this down in the beginner, simpler category. So if that's the kind you like and you like the black lines, this is definitely one for you. This is one of the older books. Again, it is Jeremy Mariez. I've done a few in here, and these were done in 2020, back when these were new. And we were doing them in water-based markers. So these pages are actually in black, white and grey because they're old Mickey cartoons. I chose not to add the greys into the background, and I've done a few and they turn out beautifully. I'm looking forward to doing these now. I have my acrylic paint pens as well, as they get into the more detailed pictures. We have, they're not all black and whites, in case that's not what you like, there's just a few. Then they go into some of the old classic cartoons. This is definitely for the retro Mickey fans. It's like a bit of a Mickey through the ages. Slowly comes forwards in time. We're in 1938. 1939, 1940. Love these. Coming up to 1941. We're 1942, 1943, up to 1947 here. So you can see they're going to be simple. I mean, these are old cartoons. 1951, you've got some, is it Alvin and the Chipmunks? Would that be? That wouldn't be. That would be, would that be Pepe Le Pew and the his chipmunks? I'm not sure. Love this. Can you see that? That would be, turn out pretty well, that one. We've got a ghost Goofy there. Jiminy. Getting into some DuckTales here. And then, of course, you've got the much newer Mickey and Friends. Again, we are Jeremy Mariez. I would definitely put this more into the intermediate category, with definitely some difficult pages. These are the two I've done. These turn out obviously beautifully colourful because they are colourful cartoons. They've got really nice detail to them. I think I've just done those two in this one, and this one definitely has a lot more detail added into the artwork. Still your older cartoons, you know, your 1937, 1953, 1941, just with more detail added. Love this. This is fun. Trying to keep it all on for you, but you can see there's a lot more detail in these. So I definitely put these into mainly that intermediate middle category. You've still got the black lines because it's all Disney, but you've got a lot more detail to these. The colour palettes aren't too intense for the most part, but you're definitely getting a few of the difficult pages dotted in there. All single pages this time again. I'm going a bit fast for you guys. You can always pause if you need, or slow me down. You don't have to listen to me prattle on. I won't be offended. Love this. Love this. So essentially just that very Disney, classic Disney Mickey, but just with more detail, more further out pictures, so you're getting more on the page than they started off with. Love that they've added some of the black and whites in. Again, it has got the colour tracker page in the back there. So then we're into the Les Grands Classiques that I have by him. I do have Les Grands Classiques 1, 2, 3, 10 and 11 that were all done by Jeremy Marriez. The first one, which I only just got my hands on and I haven't done anything in yet, but I'm very excited for. There's some beautiful pictures in this. Again, they look very detailed, but the colour palettes aren't too intense, so I'd still put this into that beginner category. You're not going to need a million markers for each page. You've got your black outlines, keeping it fun and simple, but I do find this is one of my absolute favourites of the older books and why I had to grab it this time round. Just to have it, really, to be honest. Bit of Bambi there. Is that Bolt? I think that's Bolt, one of them. Beautiful one of Simba here. Love these pages. Just really, really nice. And like I said, none of the colour palettes are too crazy. Not got that billion colours of some of the later ones that you're scouring all your pen sets for. But they're still richly coloured. They're beautiful. Love this guy. Don't actually know who he is. He's definitely a villain. That much I do know. I've seen him appear. He always looks like a villain, so he absolutely must be. Again, I think even though this is an older book, because I've bought it recently, they must add the colour trackers into their books as they print them now. I then have a Grand Classique Tome 2. I do believe this is the one I've got the most pages done in. It is. I've had this the longest and have the most pages in here. Again, this is before acrylic markers. With just Crayola Super Tips. Still had a lot of fun and did really enjoy this version until, you know, the skin tones became such a big deal. Super fun, just hard to match up with the colour range that I had, but you know, I still enjoyed the pages. This was my first kind of foray into trying acrylic paint pens. Didn't have the best pens and the skin tone is a real issue, but again, I like the page. I enjoyed improving. It's not the end of the world. This is as I'm just, you know, my pens are starting to improve a little bit here. I'm getting the hang of how many layers I need and how to lay things down to make them look a little bit more solid. This is the point where I'd kind of cracked it. This is my first really good page with the acrylic paint pens and definitely still one of my favourites. Love these. Tones are a little bit off here. This blue is too blue. Use a paler blue for this bit, people. Do not match the background. But yeah, super fun pages. This is definitely a more beginner friendly colour palette. Love this one. For sure. Do have a nearly complete page further in here that was using my Simp Tap with. Got sunshine beaming through my window there. I'm absolutely boiling. Just need to finish a couple of bits that I didn't have the colours in the Simp Tap range for, so I will do that. And then for an actual flip of the pages, you can see just how off my colours really were, and yet I still absolutely adore this book. Wouldn't trade it for anything. Don't mind my older pages at all. Love these. Actually love to work in this book, to be honest. Even with my new ones, still do come back to my older Hachette Heroes books. Just Disney, isn't it? It's so bright, they're so fun, they're so nostalgic for most of us, or Disney really. Bit of Winnie the Pooh Who can get angry at Winnie the Pooh, really? Don't know who this is. But it must be a Tinkerbell thing, because she's got wings. Love me some Mushu. And I don't know the cricket's name, but also equally cute. Again, this is one of the older volumes, so there's no tracker in this. I have ordered the new colour tracker they've come out with, so that I'll be able to show you guys, and as soon as it arrives I will do a video on it. Quite interested to see that. I have Le Grand Classique Tome 3. This is another of the older volumes that I've had for a while. This again is Jeremy Mariez, and again, highly can't recommend these books enough. This was the duo of pages that made me quit Hachette Heroes 5 years ago with water-based pens, because the skin was so awful. I've actually come in and redone their skin when I restarted my journey. If you haven't seen my Hachette Heroes Tale of Woe and Wonder video, I'll link it in the description down below for you guys if you're interested. And I have fixed them. They're still not perfect, but they're much better than they were. And to be honest, the enjoyment got me back into everything. I then did these 2 pages. I do actually really like how they came out. I did have some acrylic paint pen bleed through issues with one of the sets that I was using. That's everything I've done in this one. That's how they were supposed to look. I might just see if I can block out a bit of that sunshine. Bear with me, guys. Yep, managed it. Okay, so these are what they're supposed to look like. She turned out really well, and in fairness, apart from my little accident there, which I think I can probably cover with more paint layers, she has turned out as well really well now. I have gotten much better with my acrylic marker game as I've gone along. Excited to do some of these. I do love the Beauty and the Beast, and I love their pages, and yet don't fancy the Beauty and the Beast book, so I think I just stick to finding them in the many books that I already have. I know it'll be hardship, but I'll try and manage. They must be Tinkerbell. This is Merlin, but this one I don't know. That must be Moana. Wow. Paperman 2012. What would that be in English? I do not know that. Rapunzel. Beautiful. Again, this is an older copy, so in these old ones you get, I don't know, maybe a colour palette piece. I definitely call that one a beginner for the earlier ones. We then have Tome 10. This again is Jeremy Mariez. I have this and one other of his, and then on to the next illustrator, I promise. I've done this page in here. I think you can tell that I'm going to say this is an intermediate to advanced. Just going to see if I can reach my brew from there, because I'm talking so much my mouth is dry. Had a lot of fun with this. Definitely quite detailed. Yeah, the newer ones are obviously, I mean, they've had to do that, I would imagine, to survive. Like, you've got to get more detailed as people buy more and more of your books and they get more advanced. This is super cute. There's some really fabulous, very detailed backgrounds in the newer ones, I've noticed. Not seen this movie, but these books do make me want to watch. Is it Soul and is it Wish? Or is that Wish? Is Wish the movie that I need to see? And maybe Raya? Whatever movie she's in. I think there's a couple that I need to watch to understand more of these characters. I did recently watch Inside Out so that I knew all the emotion characters, because I kept seeing them pop up in the books. So I do understand who sadness and joy is a little bit more now. Love this. Again, I'm a massive Lilo and Stitch fan, but I'm not sure about the Lilo and Stitch book. That is the final one. Again, you do have your colour tracker in there. And then the last one for Jeremy Mariez, and again a Le Grand Classique. I have Tome 11. I haven't done any pages in here. This is a very, very new buy for me. I mean, most of them are, but super new, this one. This is definitely an advanced book. This has double pages and they're very detailed. They're very, very detailed. Beautiful, beautiful. Excited for this book. But yeah, these are definitely going to be pretty intense. This reminds me of the Petit Poupée one that I've got that is like crazy detailed. Look at that. That is going to be a job and a half. Love it. Love them. Love it. That is Winnie the Pooh's house, isn't it? I think. Love the Bambi one. The double pages intimidate me quite a bit, but I am quite excited for them. I'm sure I've seen her. I'm sure it's probably similar and not the exact same, but that Rapunzel's house will be. Fair enough. You don't get Chicken Little often, I don't think, but if you're gonna, you might as well look cool. Wall-E. It's quite a smart one there. Love this. Very dark. Love that. Hercules. Wow. Beautiful. 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 Don't know what that is. Fantasia. Some like really amazing scenes in this one. I suppose the double page, wow, the double pages have really let them, you know, jump to that next level. Again, this is a newer one, so there is a tracker in the back. So you can tell he's my favourite. I definitely have quite a few by him. The next one, which I do have quite a few books by, is Alexandra Karam. I really like his as well. This one's not my favourite, but this is one of the original ones that I got. I've had this since 2020. I have still not coloured in this book. It's still untouched. This is definitely a beginner version, very beginner friendly. Nice and simple, smaller colour palettes, definitely going to get you going. To be honest, when I look in this, I do really want to colour in this. I just need to do a page. I mean, how beautiful a first page. I just need to get one done. You've got your black lines, your simple palettes, the single pages. They're bright and they're fun. They are, of course, all cat characters. Shio and Chien is either cats in male and female or cats and kittens, I'm not sure. These books tend to run anywhere between £12 to £20 in the UK. But you know, any one book is, you know, you're getting a lot for your money. They're definitely worthwhile. They've got nice paper to them as well that, you know, holds up to the alcohol Why is my obsession with alcohol marker? Acrylic paint pen really well. They do buckle, but they don't bleed through for the most part. This is an older book, so it's plain on the inside. I need to find places to stack these. I then have his, I do believe this translates to Under the Ocean. This again, I really only just got and I haven't worked in. We're still completely pristine. This is definitely a more advanced, intermediate to advanced, let's say, because the colour palettes aren't crazy on some of these, but there's definitely some detail going on. But yeah, I'd say, you know, there's the intermediate pages and then your more maybe advanced colour palettes interspersed, so a little bit both. And some of the simpler pages seem to have a lot of colour in them. Couldn't resist this one. I don't know why, it just really did pull me in. Some really fun, pretty pages in here. What on earth? Why? Bit of Mickey there. Some Finding Nemo. Well, Dory. Do like the Lilo and Stitch pages in this. I think that's what really drew me to it. Again, there is a colour tracker in this one. It's a newer version. I've got this one. I do love this one. This is Love Stories, again by Alexandra Karam. This is, again, very new to me and I haven't worked in it yet. Absolutely stunning, this book. I would definitely go with more intermediate to advanced. The one thing I do find strange in this one, so there's 99 pages of colours, but they haven't added the colour palettes underneath like they usually do. But yeah, this is again a beautifully illustrated book. Love this one. And this one. And this one. And this one. And this one. Again, it's a new one, so colour tracker in the back. I then have, by Alexandra Karam, Looney Tunes Volume 1 and 2. I've done, in my Volume 1, I have done these two pages. Again, I'd put these intermediate to advanced. Very fun to do though. I think that's all I've done in here, yeah. But yeah, you think Looney Tunes would be simpler, but they're actually have some intense colour palettes going on these. And they are busy. They are busy. These are going to be fun to do, I reckon. Love these. Love Looney Tunes. Again, mine has a colour tracker in. And then we're book 2. Also by Alexandra Karam. I haven't done anything in this one. How fun is that page? Again, I would call this intermediate to advanced. Let's put you in the middle. Super fun. I mean, in fairness, there are a couple of more beginner friendly pages thrown into this as well, for sure. Definitely a few simpler pictures in there if you wanted a bit of a mix of all the difficulty levels. I think this is probably a really good book for that, to decide which you prefer, you know, beginner, intermediate, crazy. The only thing this one's really missing is probably the double page spreads. They are black outlined, so for those of us that are a fan. Super fun, very interesting pages. Again, 100. And mine has the colour tracker in. That is those. I do have number 3, but it's by a different artist, so it's later in the pile. I do have the Smurfs, and I wasn't sure about this one. I'm not like a Smurfs fan or anything, but then you see the pages and this book's amazing. Again, this one is Alexandra Karam, and is it Dapre Peyo? Not really sure. That's his name. I have started work on the very intimidating double page spread for this, and I have completed page 4. Don't ask me why, I don't know that. I normally do them in order, but every so often I do go AWOL. And again for this one we have, I definitely say there's that mixture of beginner level to intermediate straight to advanced. This one has quite a lot going on. The double pages are intimidating. Super fun. Love these. Really nicely detailed. Look at that. That will be fun to do. That's going to be crazy intense, but fun to do. I've 100% ordered the second one of these after having done one page of 100. Yep. This looks fun. My problem with these books is I have noticed they can be tricky to get after a little while, and with anything that panic sets in, doesn't it? The one thing I will say, after having worked on my very first double page spread, some of these books, they're not very well lined up. which, you know, feels like a slight shame, but I'm hoping once the whole page is done, it's not going to bother me too much. I would maybe check your books and see if you find that that is the case. And if so, you know, like, it just seems to be that first page in mine. So hopefully the others are okay. I'm just checking some of the other double pages now to see if they're all like that, if it's just that one. It does seem to be just that one in my Smurfs volume. So we'll see. We'll see how much that's gonna annoy my OCD brain. So that is Alexandra Karam. I then have 4 more books that are by, are these all by, am I now wrong? These might actually be all of my random illustrator books actually. Hang on. They're by him. These are random. Those are random. Right, okay. Different way around. So I have 2 books by William Ball, B-A-L. I have his Seasons and Girl Power. I haven't coloured in any of these. These are very new to me. His tend to be rather detailed, but almost slightly washed out in tone. Again, I'd call these an intermediate palette. Unusual, like this one doesn't have the colour code underneath like the others. Strange. They do have pretty details to them. And he does seem to have less black lining to his, which is why I think it makes it look a little bit more washed out, because there's less of that black outline. So if that is a deal breaker for you guys, he does tend to do less, it would seem. Oh, ew. Gross. We are definitely glued together all over the shop in the back. I have a colour tracker to this one. Definitely glue, mucky glue back there. That is Seasons. And then also by William Bow, I have Girl Power. And after a while with these books, you start to notice, you know, you can see again that that is the same illustrator. It's that more pale, washed out, less black outline kind of art style that is obviously just his art style. I do like these pages though. Right, he seems to like to line in colour. Again, I'd say this is an intermediate. That is as dark as it looks. That's so dark. He's not my favourite of the illustrators. Again, colour tracker to this one. But the couple of books I have are interesting. My absolute favourite book of Hachette Heroes all time is The Petit Prepare. This one only has 40 illustrations. This I would definitely put into the advanced category. This is by, I don't want to butcher that, but I'm going to, Capucine Sauvignon. Not sure. Capucine Sauvignon? Capucine Sauvignon. That's her name. Or his. I've done one page in here. Absolutely gorgeous. Love this. This was really fun to do. Definitely an advanced. Started on my second page in here, so I've done all my black outlines. You can see they're pretty nicely detailed. And there's some of these pages are probably intermediate actually. I think it's just the amount of texture and detail she adds to her backgrounds that seems so much more difficult. So you'll see. And this is a single-sided book, one of the few. So if you do want to use alcohol markers, the back of the pages are clear for that if you like. But this is super fun. I'm going to cherish every page of this. These are really, really, really beautiful. I love her. She likes her white highlight. They like their white highlight. But yeah, beautiful detailing that. Love that one. It's obviously classically smaller size. I then do have Looney Tunes 3. This one is by Charlotte Mendez. I have not coloured in this one yet. And now again, this one does not have the colour palettes with the pages, but from having a look at a few, I would say these are more of a mixture of the beginner palettes to the intermediate. And again, you can see that change in style by illustrator. I definitely check the illustrators now. One valuable lesson, 100% for sure, is to start noting the illustrators that you prefer. You'll be happier with the books you get, I think. Once you start to notice the ones that you're drawn to and actually really like. I just had to get this because it was Looney Tunes, to be honest. But I definitely prefer the first two books, illustration-wise. Still a lot of fun though. Still really bright, really fun. But none of these pages are labelled with any information. You do have your colour tracker. We're down to the last two, guys. We are down to the last two. I have Xion Chien. This is either male and female dogs or dogs and puppies, I'm not sure. This one is by Christophe Alexis Perez. This one I would definitely put in the simpler category. Like some of these colour palettes are really very simple. Did I miss a page there? I did not. Got a bit of a mix of black outline and colours. That might be because obviously the different cartoons. The Pixar obviously don't tend to have black outline to them because they're animations. Not my favourite one, this one. Don't like, this isn't my kind of thing at all, to be honest. And it's probably one of the few that I'm unsure on. Do you like this one though? And I think for the couple that I am quite unsure on, I'm not going to force myself to colour a page in. I'm going to hold on to them and decide at some point whether, you know, with the amount that I have, whether, you know, they're best to pass on rather than colour one page in and then pass on. Seems a shame. And then my final book, I have Les Grands Classiques Tome 12, and this one is by Aurelia Bertrand and Beatrice Loth. I haven't coloured in this one either. Too new. And again, we don't have the colour palettes on the pages. I'm still going to say we're definitely more beginner friendly to intermediate, this one. Like there's some, sorry guys, I'm flicking them where you can't see them, much more simple colour palettes present in this one. And again, this is a little bit of a darker style. And this is what I mean about quickly realising which illustrators you prefer. They're also very different, and the differences are in the artist and how they represent and design the pages. Again, this is a newer one, it'll have the colour tracker. And that is Les Grands Classiques Tome 12. So, as promised, I have the colour palettes I've made so far for my pages in different books. I'm just going to hold them up to the camera so you can pause them and use them as you will. These are made up from numerous sets, so obviously it depends what you have and where, but it might help you a little bit at least. So the Petite Papier book, I've got the page 3 palette that I've created here. The Smurfs book 1, page 3 again. Les Grands Classiques 2, I've got page 15. Page 22, I feel like a bingo caller. Page 13. Page 14. Les Grands Classiques 2 again, I've got page 16 here. Les Grands Classiques 10, a newer one, page 1. Petite Poupée, page 1. I'll do this in 2 parts because I did these in half. So that is the first half of the palette and the second half. This goes a little bit skewy, so that's what that's all about. Petite Poupée, page 2. I've got Ice Age, page 1. The Smurfs, page 4. We can read that there. The Smurfs, page 1 and 2, double page. There we go. Then I have Villains, page 1. Page 2. Mickey and Friends, I've got again page 1 and page 2. Princesses, I have page 2 there. Oh, and this is the Looney Tunes Bugs Bunny combination that I created that I was going on about. A couple of people have asked for this. these are the numbers from the Guangna 240 pens I used, and that was the Artex pen that I used. So what I'm going to do in the future is when I do my completed pages videos, I will also try and add the palette in for you. I know quite a few people have requested to see those with, so not to worry, in the future they will be added as I go. Hope this was useful for you guys. So I hope this was at all useful or in any way interesting for you guys. If you're not interested in the Hachette Heroes colour by number, I'm sure I'll have something else for you to watch hopefully soon. And apart from that, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.